Hello. So today, this is sort of back to normal. I'm just going to do an update on what I've been reading, and then I do have a little bit of a haul as well. Actually, I have quite a bit of books to haul, but one of them is like a special edition set of like 5 books. So I'm going to make that its own video just because if I tried to do those and the other books I have, I don't think I'd have space in my desk to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna break it apart a little bit. Hopefully you don't mind. Just another quick thing is that I have been asked by a few people to do like a Lee Bardugo collection tour, I guess I could call it. So I'll probably film that next. I'll bring all my Lee Bardugo books and just kind of go through them. I do have quite a few, so that should be a whole video in and of itself. But yeah, let's get going and I can stop yapping. First off, I'm going to do a recap of what I've been reading recently. So as you all know, well, I guess not all, but if you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that I was starting The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. This is a historical fiction, sort of gothic fantasy set in Madrid during, I believe, the 16th century. I could be wrong. But it's set during the Inquisition, and we follow a scullery maid who has some magical abilities and how dangerous that is during that time. I've read every other Lee Bardugo book except for the Wonder Woman book she wrote, so I was curious where this would rank among them. And now that I have officially finished it, this is the Waterstones edition, but now that I've officially finished it, I can tell you I loved this book so much. I was enjoying it when we last talked, but yeah, I'm done with it now and I absolutely love it. I said in my review that that this is probably my second favorite Lee Bardugo book of all time, which is high praise. If you're curious at all what the first one is, it's Six of Crows. Six of Crows will always have a very special place in my heart. 2015 in general is one of the staple years of reading for me. So, so many books that came out in 2015 became like some of my all-time favorites. We've got An Ember in the Ashes, you've got A Court of Thorns and Roses, you've got Six of Crows, Wrath in the Dawn. 2015 and 2016 were just stellar reading years for me, but back on topic. Yeah, Six of Crows is my favorite by Lee Bardugo, but this takes second place for sure. I really, really, really love this book. Again, I think if you see mixed reviews, I think it's because this is definitely more literary leaning rather than action-y, fast-paced. So I'd say, like, if you've read her Shadow and Bone trilogy, it goes pretty quick. It's pretty plot forward. Of course, that's a young adult book, so that's kind of to be expected, but this is an adult fantasy, and I would say it's very literary leaning, a little slower, but character driven as well. The gothic vibes in this one is perfect. I'm so glad that I read it during the Halloween season. There is romance in it, and I personally really loved the romance aspect. It was a subplot, but it was one I really enjoyed. Again, I'm sure this has been said, but I am someone who loves fantasy that has romance as a subplot, I generally feel like it's usually better when it is. It's just my opinion. And that was definitely the case in this book. You definitely have some supernatural vibes, not the show, but like paranormal vibes. In fact, the love interest is not a vampire, but vampire-esque, and that's all I'll say. And I loved him. He's probably my second favorite Leigh Bardugo love interest, aside from Kaz. This was just so good. This was everything I love in a fantasy. I don't think it'll be for everyone, but it was definitely for me, like, for sure. And I ended up giving it 4 stars, 4.5 stars. Yeah, 4.5. The scorpion on the front is very important. I think if you like books like The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, you'll really like this book. Basically just more literary leaning historical fantasy. That's basically what this is, and I really, really loved it. So again, yeah, 4.5 stars for sure. And also, I didn't notice this at first, but if you see on the spine, there's a scorpion connecting the title and the author's name. Just a nice little touch. I love like little design stuff like that. But yes, this is the most recent book that I finished. I would highly recommend. I would say look up the plot and see if it sounds like something you'd enjoy. And this, just keep in mind the genre, and I think you should be good. I really loved it, so. Anyways, that is The Familiar. The next book is actually, we're getting into the book haul, but this is the next book on my to read plan, I guess. Like, this is the book I'm planning to read next, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm very excited. It came in the mail pretty recently, and that's because it came out recently, and it is called Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. It says, welcome back to the world of Caraval. So you've probably heard of this series. It's the Caraval trilogy by Stephanie Garber. This is the same author of the sequel trilogy, Once Upon a Broken Heart. That one got really popular online fairly recently, so I think that's the one people know first. But this is back into the world of the Caraval trilogy, which I'm so excited to read. I loved the Caraval trilogy. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I was sent an ARC of it when it first came out, and I started reading it, and I was like, ugh, this is so sappy. This is cheesy romance, like even with the fantasy aspects. And I and I set it down for a little bit, for like months actually. And then for some reason I was like, you know what, I'll try to read it again. And I picked it up, and something, like there's a switch, and somehow I liked it. I think like once I accepted it for what it was, I don't know, something changed, and suddenly I loved it. So, and then I loved the second and the third book even more than the first book. So I think it's actually kind of controversial which sister you like more. So in this series you follow 2 sisters, Scarlett, who is the older sister, and then Tella, who is the younger sister. I liked both of them, but I have to say, as far as the romance goes, I loved Tella. That one, like, no contest. But I loved all 3 books. They were all really good. So anyways, so this is a novella, so like a very short little book set in the same world, and I think we get to revisit the 2 sisters and their love interests and, you know, old characters. It's been a while since the last book finale was released, so I'm really excited to see them all again. I kind of want to do actually a reread, but I'm not sure if I'll have the patience. Like, I don't need a reread because I do remember the gist of what happened, but it would be fun to read them all and then just continue into this one. But yeah, this is called Spectacular, which fits with all the other titles in the series. This is the Waterstones edition. I couldn't tell you. Oh, it looks like there's art on the inside. I love when they do that. Yeah, so when you open it, it's really pretty, like, rose design on the end papers. And on this side it says, "From the library of," and there's a place to write your name, so that's really cool. I might do that. I'm not usually one for writing in my books, but maybe this will be the exception. And on the back it has a short little, like, clip from the book. It says, "A holiday that isn't what it seems, a gift worth searching for, a night to remember." So it's this little, like, snow globe design. Really pretty. If you heard my stomach just now, I'm so sorry. Let's see, so yeah, there is art on the inside. Let's see if I can find some. Oh. And then there's header art too. Oh, this is gonna be so pretty to read. I do feel like this is a perfect book to read during, like, the winter season, the Christmas season. Like all the winter holidays. I think this is just, like, perfect. It has snowflakes on the front, like a ballerina. 10 out of 10, a winter read for me, but I think I might get there a little early because I really want to read this now. I miss these characters. This is one of those trilogies where I think about the characters a lot. And after I finished the series, I, like, didn't move on for a little while. I just reread certain parts of the book and, like, thought of them and yearned for them. You know, some stories just stick with you like that, and this was one of them for me. So very excited to see all of them again. And yeah, so this is what I plan to read next. Such a pretty book. I think, now that I think about it, I think the Barnes & Noble edition is also an exclusive edition. And I'm wondering if they're the same, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Barnes & Noble was bought out by the same people who own Waterstones, which is the UK bookstore. So it might be the same, and I might not have had to order this international. You know, something I probably should have thought of before, but hindsight's 2020. Really pretty. I like the art. But yeah, this is what I plan to read next. Spectacular. And now on to the rest of the book haul. So I have 4 books left in this book haul. 2 of them I got at Barnes & Noble, and they're special editions, and the other 2 I got in the mail from, like, online stores or book boxes. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'll show you first the 2 I got from Barnes & Noble. They're very heavy, and also really funny. When I ordered these, when I checked out to buy them, the cashier person was like, "Oh yeah, we just put these in stock and they're so pretty, aren't they?" And I was like, they are gorgeous. I will say these are 2 of the prettiest books I've ever seen or owned. And that's saying a lot because I've seen a lot of pretty books. But they are the One Dark Window and the Twisted Crowns. I think there's a name for this duology, but it's escaping me. By Rachel Gillig. I own the Fairy Loot editions of these books, but when I saw that they were coming out with special collector's editions from Barnes & Noble, I was like, well, I mean, they're really pretty, and I do think I'm really going to like this duology, so why not, you know, invest in them a little bit. So yeah, this is an adult fantasy duology. Look how pretty, just even the spines are really pretty. And so I'll show you what they look like. They're so heavy, which to me is always a sign of quality. If you have a heavy book, usually that means the paper quality is good, and or there's art in it, you know, something like that. So the first book, if I can get them to not fall off. I'm very careful with these books because they are very nice. This is One Dark Window. And yeah, these are the Barnes & Noble exclusives. So you can, if you go to your local Barnes & Noble, you should be able to find these. I'm not sure if there's an equivalent in Canada or international. You might be able to order them. I'm not super knowledgeable about that, but if you Google, you should be able to see. It's interesting because the title is only on the spine. Oh, it's the Shepherd King duology. That's what it's called. Yeah, the title is only on the spine. It's not at all on the cover, which is kind of cool. People might have mixed opinions about that. But really pretty. I find it interesting that they have the art like a photo frame almost, like it's here, and then there's a design around it. Just curious. And here are these sprayed pages. Trying to get it where the glare isn't so bad. There we go. Really pretty and intricate, and they go up to the top as well. And here is the back. I will say, if you're hoping for me to tell you what these, what this series is about, I can't give you much because I've avoided any and all premise about it. The series was on my radar before I knew it was going to be the Fairy Loot pick, and I somehow have managed to avoid any spoilers, any idea of what the story is about. I saw the original covers and I was like, forest fantasy? Yeah. Forest gothic fantasy, adult fantasy. Sounds like it's for me. So I'm hoping I really like them because I have invested 2 sets. But I'm pretty sure I will. We'll see. So yeah, this is the first book, One Dark Window. Are you one of those people, let me know in the comments if you're one of those people who like sort through the stack to find like the most pristine condition book. Like there's a stack of these on a table, and I like, you know, kind of carefully rifled through to find the one that had the least amount of like corner bending and stuff like that. I know not everyone does that, but I generally do, especially if it's like a special edition book like this. I'm like, I am going to find the least damaged copy I possibly can. So yeah, that's the first book. And the second book in the series is Two Twisted Crowns. This is what it looks like. Another really pretty cover. Another heavy book. These are the sprayed pages for this one. So they match, but they're slightly different. I just love this art. It's so pretty. Like, this is the vibe in a book that I enjoy. Let me check, see if there's anything on. There are designs on the end papers, it looks like. I think it's the same design that's on the pages, from what I can tell. But yeah, such a pretty book. Let me see if I can hold them together without losing all the strength in my arms. So here they all are. Here are the two of them together. They look really nice together. So excited to put these on my shelves. I do want to read these. I think it would be cool if I could read these before the end of the year. They look like very sort of wintry December books, so there's so many books I want to read before the end of the year. You fellow readers, you understand the struggle of like picking what book to read next. But yeah. So those were those two books, that series. And then the last two books I have to show I got in the mail. One is a Fairy Loot adult fantasy pick, and the other one is a book I ordered from Goldsboro. It's a UK-based bookstore. They do signed special editions. And I believe this one was one of their subscription books that they had just listed the extra of on their online website. And I was really interested in it, so I did buy it. But first I'll show you the Fairy Loot adult pick of, I think this is September, so, or was it October? It was either this month or the last month, so look away if you don't want to know, but 3, 2, 1. This is, again, Sorcery of Small Magics. Oh, never mind. Sorcery and Small Magics by Magadusi. If you've seen my previous haul, you'll know that I bought the paperback edition of this book. Even though I knew that this was going to be one of the bookbox picks, can't say that, but I couldn't help myself because it looked so good and I was scared I wouldn't like this cover. Well, I don't need to be scared of that because A, it's not that different, and B, it's still really pretty. Noticing there's a lot of Orbit books I've been liking. I've noticed that for the past like year or two, is that Orbit publishes a lot of books that I end up being interested in. So again, this is, if I can recall, this is a book about two rival sorcerers. It's an adult fantasy and it's queer. I'm just very excited for it. Here are the sprayed pages of this one. It has a butterfly and either a violin or a cello. I should probably be able to tell. I used to play violin. This is the back. Maybe I can read you the back because it's not really a synopsis. It's just like a snippet. It says, "Will you look for me? Each glimpse a beckon, calling from within. Listen for me, until the ringing of my voice becomes your only song. Hold my name in your bones, until every wish need not be spoken." So excited to read this. See if there's art. Oh, there is really pretty art on the end paper. So yeah, we have a musician here. I guess one of the sorcerers plays music. Here's the full illustration. I love this art style. It's really pretty. And then I bet the other sorcerer will be on this side. It's giving like farm boy and city boy. And then here's the front. You've got like a gold gilded portrait of one of the characters. And then the same on the back for the other character. It has the title on the spine. This, I know it's not a similar story, but this like art on the front, embossed on the front, kind of reminds me of the Song of Achilles. I don't know why, just kind of the style of it. Really pretty, very excited for this book, and I think there's art on the dust jacket. So. Oh, right, that's right, it's a reverse dust jacket. I really like this art style. I love how the characters are portrayed. So I'm not sure if I prefer this side or this side. I'm thinking maybe I'll turn it inside out, actually. I wasn't planning on it originally, but I really like that character art, so. So real quickly, this is what it looks like with the art jacket on here. I don't know, I like both, but I'm just obsessed with this artwork. It's really pretty. So I'll keep it like this for now. And then the last book is the Goldsboro book that I mentioned, and it's so pretty. This is such a cool book, so prepare yourself. This is what it looks like. It's called Tales of the Monstrous Heart by Jennifer Delaney. Yeah, Jennifer Delaney. It looks like an older book if you see the spine. If you're wondering about the glare, Goldsboro always like wraps their books in like protective sheets, so I usually leave those on just to, you know, keep them nice. They're not cheap, so. So yeah, this kind of looks like an older book. Even on the front, it still looks like an older book, just one that some sort of creature has like slashed through. And then get ready. The pages for this, insane. So the pages have been sprayed like to look like an old book that has like rust, well not rust, but like stains or, you know, old age spots to be on it. Very time worn, sort of sun-baked. Like, it does not look so realistic. It looks really realistic in person. Like, I saw this and I thought at first that something was wrong with my book, and then I was like, it's meant to be like that. But like, look at these like demonic, I guess, claws coming out of the pages. I just think this book is so cool. Design-wise, like, A+. So yeah, this is an adult fantasy, I believe. I can read you the little snippet on the back. So it has a quote that says, "What a wicked thing you've done, cat, to make it so I only dream of you." So that's a promising quote. Intriguing. There's a blurb from Sarah Hawley on here that says, "A sensual, gothic feast full of forbidden romance and wild magic." So just, yeah, I saw this and I was like, I have to have it. So yeah, the Goldsboro usually does signed editions, so this is signed, and I have copy 1,564 out of 2,000 copies. So this is what it looks like. And there's another short little like snippet up here that says, "Be careful of the dark and those that call it friend." So that's all I'll read about it, because I don't like to know a lot about books before I read them. But this sounds so good. So excited to read this. But yeah, that is all I have in today's video. Thank you for sticking with me through it all. The next couple videos I'll film, so I'll probably do the Lee Bardugo collection video first. And then I think it'll be just sort of back to normal update video with book haul, you know, all that. I might do some like more winter recommendations if you're interested or if I'm feeling like it. But yeah, besides that, sort of back to business as usual. So I'm actually hoping to get this video up over the weekend so that maybe I can kind of add in a bonus video. I usually just do one a week, but it'd be cool if I could do like maybe 2 a week every once in a while. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks.